will never be divided.
You are allowed to say anything you want. You are not free from the consequences of that speech, though. And we're showing that.
Protesters gathered at the Civic Center in outside Studio 8 Hair Lab in Traverse City Wednesday following the hair salon's Facebook post saying they won't provide services to people who don't identify with the gender they were given at birth and said they should go to a pet groomer instead.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in the great state of Michigan. Well, folks, the plan was to originally go a few hours away from here to Traverse City, Michigan. That is the home to the Studio 8 Hair Lab, which has been receiving international media attention the last several days. You see, on social media, the co-owner of Studio 8, that would be Christine Geiger, she announced that she will no longer serve clients who identify as, quote, anything other than a man or woman, end quote. She further stated that she has no issue with lesbian, gay, and bisexual people, but, quote, it's the TQ plus I'm not continuing to support, end quote. Now, as you can imagine, folks, the Rainbow Mafia, the mainstream media, several politicians, they've lost their minds over this stance. And yet, whether you agree with it or not, this idea of not serving men who are pretending to be women or women pretending to be men, I'm very much confused these days what the rules are when it comes to discrimination. Last month, during gay pride parades, we saw what happened in several of those parades in which particularly men got completely naked and marched in front of children, and yet law enforcement does not arrest or press charges against that kind of public indecency. And furthermore, what about those businesses that even though the COVID-19 mask-wearing mandates are over, they still demand that you wear a face diaper? Remember, we profiled one Toronto resident who not only had the clerk freak out on him, and this is in the month of July 2023, not 2020, but also confiscated his cell phone and called the police on him. Check it out.
Do you want me to break it? I will break it.
And we're both like grinding against this bookshelf right here, and you got books falling off the shelves.
And I'm about to make a citizen's arrest if they don't show up.
Well, I'm going to trespass. You got to provide me your name.
Okay.
Okay, then.
Consent this video.
Okay, we don't need your consent, but have a nice day. I'm very confused what kind of discriminatory behavior, what kind of racism, if you will, apartheid light, if you will, is permissible and which versions are not. And consider this, folks, it would appear that perhaps Ms. Geiger has the U.S. Supreme Court in her corner. After all, last month, the nation's highest court did rule in a 6-3 decision that a wedding website owner was indeed allowed to deny services to gay couples. So I guess if that sort of business can deny service to gay couples, I would imagine she can deny service to those men pretending to be women and those women pretending to be men. We shall see. And indeed, that is what we'll have to do. We'll have to see how this plays out. As they say in business, the bottom line is the bottom line. Is Miss Geiger's policy going to increase her business? Will it end up putting her out of business thanks to the woke mob, or will the status quo be maintained? Stay tuned. We will watch with fascination in terms of how this story is going to play out. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, I know you love Rebel News to tell the other side of the story, but you know what? We need your help. We don't get a dime of government funding, nor would we accept it if offered. So please go to rebelfieldreports.com. That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you can make a donation, that would be greatly appreciated.